Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 19 of Zesty Thoughts with your host, Annábla. I have a change of scenery. I am currently in San Diego. I'm going to see Eric Clapton tonight and I'm staying in a hotel after because I live in LA and the show is all the way in San Diego and I don't want to drive home after. So I'm going to crash here and then go home Wednesday morning. So I'm recording in the hotel right now. I've had a crazy few weeks. I actually haven't recorded in 2 weeks because I had so much footage with Cammie. For those of you that haven't seen the episodes with Cammie, episodes 17 and 18 are with one of my best friends in the whole world. We had so much footage, you guys, that we literally had to split it up into 2 episodes. And it was insane. We probably could have kept talking for hours and hours and hours. We're probably going to do another episode in October, a spooky episode or something. I don't know if I should keep it a surprise or not. I'm just going to put it in the episode anyway. And then if Cammie wants me to keep it a surprise, then I won't put it in the episode. I'll take it out. But we just decided the other day what we're going to do for Halloween. We're going to a Halloween birthday / Halloween party. Obviously we have to dress up. So we were trying to figure out something that we could do costume wise as a group or I don't know. I didn't really have any ideas this year, which is kind of out of the ordinary because usually I'm gung-ho about Halloween and I know my costume right away. I was considering dressing up as Pearl, for any of y'all that have seen the movie Pearl. If you haven't, you should definitely see it. It's really crazy. But yeah, I was going to dress up as Pearl. But I thought it would be more fun to do costumes with friends, group costumes or something. And so I was I don't know, it'd be kind of funny if we did I don't know, characters from Hercules. I had suggested the 3 muses from Hercules for me, Cammie, and another friend of ours, but I guess that friend already has a costume. So we're okay, let's figure something out that we can do. And then with her boyfriend, Ed, we could do something that's 3 people. And Cammie suggested that we do Pain and Panic and her Hades from Hercules. And I thought that was the funniest idea ever. So I think we're just going to do that. So I'm so excited now for Halloween. Now that my costume is figured out, I was stressing about that. I was I don't know what to do. And then I can just modify the costume and I don't know, do something different when I'm at work. Cause I feel if I'm that character, all my students aren't going to know who I am. I'll just wear the costume and make it something different for kids. I don't know, it's very easy. I could be a strawberry, you know what I mean? It would be easy to do. But yeah, so I'm super excited for Halloween now. I think that's the funniest costume ever. And it's so funny that she suggested that. I just saw on the Broski Report that Brittany Broski got a tattoo of Pain and Panic. And I was no freaking way. That's a sign. We have to do that as a costume. And I don't know if Cammie watches that. So I was she just suggested that randomly. It's the perfect idea. So I'm so excited. And I'm very curious to see how Ed is going to make a Hades costume with the flames. So we will see how that goes. I'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, I have an interesting episode today. I've been very, very busy. Basically living out of a suitcase every weekend the last few weeks. With all of the shenanigans and things that I've been up to. So I'm just going to chat a little bit about what I've been up to. I do have some thirsts. I definitely have a hot toddy take. I'm hoping that a student quote will just come to me. I knew that there was one from last week, but I didn't write it down. That was dumb of me. So hopefully that will just come up. If not, I'll definitely have one next week. And if I remember, I'll just put it in next week's episode. Okay, let's jump right in. So 2 weekends ago, I went to a Haunted Fest with my parents. We had such a fun time and I saw Sting. That was really all I cared about doing while I was there. That was the only person I really cared about seeing. I mean, there were amazing other artists that I got to see that I didn't know, that I just got to discover for the first time. But I was so excited for Sting. He was amazing, 10 out of 10. Still got it for sure. I mean, he changed the key of all of his songs, but he's old. And I feel I respect that more than artists trying to sing their songs in the original keys and then just brutally screwing them up, so he did so well. And also just the fact that he plays bass and sings, the thought of having to do that, having to change the keys of all of your famous songs that you've played one way for like X amount of decades, and then you have to change a key. Like that must be annoying, but I respect him so much for that. And he was amazing live. His band was like crazy. And yeah, I just can't like rave enough about it. That was amazing. Alanis Morissette played, although I had seen her before, so I wasn't as like stoked. I was obviously excited to see her, but the first time I saw her was at Kaboo down here in Del Mar, and I was like literally front row. Like I was like, no, I need to be front row for her. Like I need to see her. I need to smell her, you know? And that was insane. And I like made friends because I just went up to the front by myself. I was there with my parents and they were like further back. I just went up to the front and I just like made friends with people around me. And that set was like insane. It was life changing. So I didn't go up front for this like set of hers, so it was like different, but she was still amazing, obviously. But yeah, and then the headliners were Pearl Jam, and they were amazing, like 10 out of 10. They were great live. Yeah, that was a very fun and eventful weekend, but festivals are like so draining. I don't know if this is like kind of a hot toddy take, but like I don't really like music festivals. I feel like they're a lot. My social battery runs out by the time it's like midday if I get there early, and it's just like, I don't know, it's too much for me. It's a lot. Like not having like good like having to go in an outhouse, not having like proper bathrooms, and like I don't know, it's just a lot. It's very overwhelming. And it would have to take a lot after that. It would have to take a lot for me to like really want to go to a music festival. Like the lineup would have to be insane for me to sacrifice my comfort in that way. But yeah, I mean, it was fun regardless. Seeing Sting was like crazy. So I was super excited for that. And it was definitely worth it to see him. Yeah, the next weekend, this past weekend, well, my parents and I and like some other family members like attempted to see the air show in Huntington Beach. We've actually gone before and it was like really cool. Like super sick, like 10 out of 10 recommend if you can go and like be on the sand. It was like the coolest thing ever. But this year was a little bit different because there was like insane fog, like thick layer of fog, meaning like you couldn't see the sky fog. So you couldn't see the planes. Like, and I guess it goes on for like 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They had dealt with fog on Friday a little bit. But like Saturday and Sunday, I guess were like the main days. And yeah, we like could not, maybe I'll insert a clip here. You could like barely see anything. Like it got delayed because the weather forecast had said that it was going to clear up at some point. And it like kind of did. There were like patches of sky that you could see. So you could kind of see one plane at one point, but it was very underwhelming. I mean, we were in like a VIP tent, so we got like food and like drinks and stuff like that. So like at least we were able to take advantage of that. But that's kind of all we did. You know, we saw the plane for like 5 seconds and we were like, oh, now it's in a cloud and we can't see it anymore. So it is what it is. We just like had to make the most of it, you know, and just chill and have fun with each other and enjoy each other's company because admittedly it was like kind of boring. We were just like waiting for the weather to clear up, hopefully. And it like kind of didn't. And I don't know, they let us like come back the next day, but at that point we were like, we're tired. Like I was like, I don't want to come back the next day. I want my Sunday free. I want to relax. So I just went home that night and I ordered Indian food. This Indian place was so good. I think it's called Tender India in Santa Monica. I like ordered so much food. I just like devoured and watched TV. And then I had a nice relaxing Sunday running errands. So that was my weekend. This past weekend. Oh my gosh, I also have a hilarious photo of this like a little dog that I saw in downtown Huntington Beach. I'm gonna post it here because it was the cutest thing ever. It was giving Top Gun. I just thought it was adorable. Let's see what else we have to chat about. Oh yeah, my neighbor. I have a neighbor with a 5-year-old. They decorated a little bit for Halloween, and there are like massive like fake spider webs and spiders in our yard, and it's like the cutest thing ever. So I'll post pictures of that too. I'm just like, Halloween growing up for me was like always very like fun and dramatic, and like we always went all out for it, me and my family. When I was 5, I want to say it was like 5, we lived at this house like down the street from my elementary school. And one year, I think it was the year that I was in kindergarten, but I have like vivid memories of this. We turned the garage, like converted the garage into like a haunted house of sorts. my parents put up like black lights, and then they put like black kind of like tarps to make it like a maze kind of that you had to like walk through. And then like my dad and I don't know, maybe some of my parents' friends, I forget who else was there, like put masks on and would like jump out and like scare kids and stuff. So we got to like walk through the maze, and that was like super fun. That's like a great childhood memory I have from Halloween. And then there was this area in like the neighborhood that I grew up in Huntington Beach called Summer Lane, at basically just like a wealthy, like kind of like a gated but not gated community. And all of those homes went like all out with decorating. And there was always one house that would have like crazy, like, and when you're little, you know, it's like scary decorations, but like they just went crazy with it. And they all gave out the best candy. There are a few other like neighborhoods like Seacliff and stuff, and Huntington. But yeah, dude, I just have such great memories of Halloween. So seeing that my neighbor decorated, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. Like, that's so cool. It just makes me happy. Seeing that people still do that, because there are like a lot of, I don't know, at least last Halloween, there were like not that many homes in my neighborhood that like really decorated at all. Like maybe like pumpkins, but like that was kind of it. And last year, to preface this, where I live now is a block away from where I used to live. Like last year, we had to move. It was like a long story about like our landlord wanting to sell the place. But anyway, so last year, a block away from where we live now, we set up like a trick or treat table where we like decorated it. We put like a bunch of Halloween decor, and like me and my mom and dad sat out and like passed out candy. And so at least we like did something. Like it was fun. I didn't really feel like going out, and I didn't really have any major plans on like the actual night of Halloween. So it worked out perfectly that we were able to do that. But yeah, it's so cute. I love that they put that out. Okay, let's see. Next segment. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. This was so annoying to me. There is a viral TikTok going around of like paparazzi photos of Justin Bieber in his car. I'm gonna put a screenshot here so you guys can see. And the comments just pissed me off so freaking much. Like I was so annoyed. All the comments are like, oh my gosh, he looks like so bad. Is that Justin Bieber? Like, oh God, he must be like stressed because of the Diddy thing. And I'm like, y'all, the man has a newborn. He's tired. He is tired. Stop sitting here and like speculating, like as if this man has not been torn apart enough by tabloids and the media and like fans and all this stuff. People just like have words constantly about him. And I don't know. I think that's just like a whole other subject that I could go into about people just like speculating about the ins and outs of like celebrities' lives. And I get it. They're like in the public eye. So it's just like free reign, but like might doesn't make right. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know? And the comments were like getting me so riled up. I was like, I just need to scroll past this. But I did comment. I was like, the man is tired. He has a newborn. Like he looks like a man with a newborn. He looks exhausted. Like every other new father would, especially brand new father. Like you're you don't never had kids before. And you're like a pop star, and you work your ass off, and like you tour and you do all this stuff, and like, yeah, dude, he's tired. He's exhausted. He has bags under his eyes because he's probably up all night, you know? I think people are just wild, but yeah, leave him alone. Leave Justin alone. Protect him at all costs. That man has been through enough. Leave him alone. Chill. Let him raise his baby in peace. That was just like a little tangent I had because it irritated me. Let's see what else we have. Oh, okay. So the Menendez show, Monsters, that Ryan Murphy did. I have a few like little things to say. From what I can like see online, like, and what I've like looked up, it doesn't really seem like Ryan Murphy like had the permission of the Menendez brothers or whatever. And I think it's like kind of a thing that doesn't make sense to me, like doing documentaries and shows like about these people and not really like getting their like approval, maybe like on like final cuts and like edits and things like that. I don't know. Like, to me, if like something was being made about like my name and my likeness that painted me in like a specific light, I mean, I think it's let me preface this. This is about people that like murdered their parents. Like, they're convicted criminals. They're in prison. The whole debate of whether they should be let out or not, that's separate from like where I'm going with this. But like, I get you've like already been in the public eye, and like your innocence or whatever is already like being debated, or your likeness has already like been disparaged, and like, you know what I mean? Your reputation is like already not good. So, but I'm speaking from like, oh, if like a random documentary or film or piece of art or whatever is being created about you that places you in a different light than you've like already been portrayed in, like, I don't know. I just like kind of have beef with like filmmakers and them not like doing it with you. You feel me? I don't know. I think it's an exception in this situation because they already have like a public, there's already public perception about these people. So it's not like Ryan Murphy is like making them look worse than they already do. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, he's like helping their case, and like people are considering the perspective that they had and their experiences of being like raised and like assaulted, trigger warning, being raised and assaulted by their father like their whole childhood, and their mother just like sitting by and like watching it. So if anything, he's like bringing that more to light and like reminding people of that. But like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like weird to not like consult the people that you're like making art about. I don't know. And I don't know what they think. So it's like, who even cares really? Cause like it only matters really what they think. If they have an issue with it, then like that's where the issue belongs. But like, I don't know, there's something to be discussed regarding that, and making art around that surrounds stories about like real people, without them. If that makes sense. I don't know if that's necessarily what Ryan Murphy did, but like it's interesting to me. I don't know. A tangent related to the show. I love the two actors. Oh my gosh, they did a phenomenal job. I forget the names of the actors. The woman who played the attorney, like crazy. But I don't know. Like, I feel like I was thinking this when I was watching the show and watching some like TikTok edits, and not the edit, chill y'all, but like TikTok edits of comparing the real Menendez brothers to the actors. And I feel like the casting and the character analysis is like flipped. And maybe I just like haven't watched enough actual footage of like the Menendez brothers, but to me, Eric Menendez in real life, you know, really good looking, strong jawline, like very like intense, bright colored eyes. And like, you know what I mean? When people have bright eyes, they just like stare into your soul, you know, and it's hard to not look at them. You know, they're like very striking. That's a very good word to describe it. Striking, confident in their, you know, body language and their stature and the way they present themselves. I feel like Eric in real life, when I've seen footage of him, that's what it's giving that, you know? And in the show, I feel like Lyle's character was giving that, but I've not seen a single ounce of footage of Lyle in real life giving that level of confidence. So I'm like, did they mix that shit up? Like, to me, the acting seems like it should have been the opposite. I feel like Eric's character in the show, a little bit more subdued, a little bit more like timid, And I feel like he isn't like that in real life. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe obviously I didn't work on the show. I didn't go and do all the research that they did because obviously they had to do a lot. But the small clips that I have seen online, I feel like the characters are the opposite. Personality wise, all the footage I see is of like Eric talking and Eric being really confident and forthcoming, and like especially in like interviews since they've like been in prison, like he's giving the same energy that Lyle's character in the show did, if that makes sense. Like, to me, it's like swapped. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but that confused me, or at least it did now. Okay, a segment that's kind of piggybacking off of the Menendez series, but like I watched The Platform 2. If you haven't seen the first Platform film, like maybe a little bit of a spoiler here, but maybe not. Go watch it. It's this amazing Spanish, like kind of psychological, kind of like thriller. It was amazing. First time I saw it, first go around, I was like, whoa, like the concept for this is crazy. And I loved it. It's like one of my favorite like thrillers or films in the last like maybe like 5 or so years. The second one was like, I feel like kind of mid and not the most satisfying ending. I even like looked up some, just because it was kind of confusing at the end. I was like, what's happening? To me, it was not very satisfying. I was hoping that she would, okay, this is an actual spoiler. I was hoping that the lead character in the second film would actually escape. And I thought it was super unsatisfying that she didn't. And it like pissed me off. So yeah, there I said it. It was like really irking. I was like, oh, she died. Why'd they do that? Why didn't they just let her go? I wanted to see like what would happen if she went, So that was freaking annoying. But I don't know. I feel like another part of this conversation may lead into kind of the same thing that I was saying with long legs. I feel like I am desensitized to like horror films, and I feel like a lot of horror movies are just like horrible. Like a lot of the new ones that I've seen recently are just like just kind of mid. And I'm having a really hard time finding horror films that I haven't seen yet that actually entertain me. So with that said, if you have any suggestions of horror films that like changed your world view, that literally changed, like just blew your mind, you can't stop thinking about it, it's your favorite horror, you know what I mean? I need some of that. Because I saw, to preface this, I saw Skinamarink in theaters, y'all. A lot of people were talking down on that film, having not seen it in theaters. I saw that in theaters with Rocky, and her and I are like mentally traumatized from seeing that in a movie theater. It was like the craziest experience ever, because everyone in the theater were all just like, what is happening? Like going into that film blind in a movie theater, pitch black. It was like, you ever experienced that where you're like in a collective group, humans are in a group, and you all look around and realize you're thinking the same thing, you're feeling the same thing, the same level of discomfort. I mean, my like heart rate, I got like a heart rate like notification or something on my watch that like my heart rate was elevated. It was like we were all stressed watching that film in theaters, and I just can't experience that, like that same feeling in other horror movies. Like it's just, and maybe it's just because I don't see them in theaters often. I mean, that could be like a layer of it. I just need to make sure that I go see horror films when they come out in theaters. But I don't know, dude, I'm just like missing that immensely. I feel like I don't have that, and I love that feeling and that experience with horror. So if you have recommendations of something that will get my heart rate jumping while I'm sitting at home on my couch, let me know, please, because I need it. Okay, I have 2 things that I'm thirsting for this week. One, ever since I did the 10K with Brianna beginning of September, I've been taking a little like reevaluation, like a little, I'm trying to kind of re-amp myself up back into fitness just in general. Because after the 10K, I'm like, I don't want to like run for like a year now. I'm done. Not that I'm done permanently, but like I like to take a break after a race a little bit. So I took a break the last few weeks. I went on some bike rides. I did actually go on some runs. That's a lie. But like I didn't go to the actual gym for a few weeks because my body was super sore. I've also just been so busy and like I've just needed to catch up on sleep. So that has been my last few weeks. I've just been kind of resting and chilling. This week, I started going back to the gym, and y'all, people online recommend the 12-3-30, and let me tell you, I always heard about that, never perceived it to really be anything serious. At least, I guess, admittedly, I did not take it very seriously. It didn't really sound like anything crazy to me, because I was like, I'm running. Like, that's gonna put me out more than 12-3-30. But you guys, 12-3-30 put me on my ass. I did glutes for like 30 minutes, and then I went downstairs in my gym to the cardio room, and I did 12-3-30. My heart rate was up. Let me just say that. I was sweating. I was huffing and puffing. I was like trying to listen to a podcast, and I just like couldn't. I don't know if you're ever like working out and you have noise canceling headphones on. I have like little the Beats Fit Pro. So they're like AirPods. They go in your ears versus like the over ear ones. You ever wearing those and you get like overstimulated and you like have to turn the noise cancellation off and like pause everything or even just like take them out? Yeah, that was me like 5 minutes in. I was like, oh, this is not what I expected at all. And like I've gone on like hikes before where like the incline is like pretty crazy, but not for really that long, you know what I mean? Like Runyon and like other hikes in LA, like there are some pretty steep parts, but they're like short stints. Doing that for 30 minutes was like very intense. So I think that's my new thirst, because 100% I prefer that to like running. I will not lie. I'm not a huge fan of running. And you might be thinking, well, then why do you run? Like, why do you do races? Like, are you thick in the skull? But no, like part of my running journey, for those of you that might not know, I have asthma, exercise-induced asthma to that extent, like severe. That's when I really notice it the most. And part of my running journey has just been like to prove to myself that I can, because I hated running as a kid. Like I was like, I can't breathe. I can't do this. But like, no, like there is like, sometimes I crave running. I will say that. Like sometimes there are days where I'm like, ooh, I want to go for a run. I want to get my sweat on. I just want to like feel like the air, you know, the breeze, you know, on my face. So there are moments where I'm like, no, I like want that. But like most of the time, no. Most of the time, no. I would rather like ride a bike, go for a long walk, listen to music, I definitely like walks over runs, like obviously. But no, I think that's like my new favorite thing, because it's like the 12-3-30 is like akin to like stair stepper on like level for me, maybe like level 6 on the stair stepper, or level 7. Actually, probably more like level 7, because the level 6 I can like withstand. But dude, yeah, it put me on my ass. I have like no other words. It was like insane. So if you've never tried it and you've doubted it before, like I did, just do it. Just do it. It was insane. I'm going to stick to it for like the rest of the year, like the rest of 2024. And I'm going to see how it feels and how I feel and what it does for me. So anyway, that's my one thirst. What was my other thirst? Oh my gosh, Jordan Ward's new like mixtape like project with Journey. It's freaking amazing. I love it. I went to his release show Tuesday night with my best friend Rocky. And it was like the most fun ever. We had a few drinks, listened to some music, and then at the end we're like chilling with my friend Daryl and some new friends too, and we're taking shots, and it was just like the most fun ever. So if you've not first of all, if you've like never listened to Jordan Ward, like you absolutely should. I'll link his music in the description. But listen to this project. It is like so good. I love it. I like am streaming it nonstop. So shout out. I'll link that in the description as well. Oh, I guess this is kind of like a second hot toddy take of the week. I feel like we should normalize like bartenders refusing people drinks at the bar. And this kind of comes from like an experience that I had at the Ohana Fest with my parents. There was this like belligerently drunk dude and his girlfriend sitting near us, and like kind of getting on our nerves, you know what I mean? And he wasn't like being like sloppy. He was happy drunk, don't get me wrong, but it was like, it was like a little bit too much, you know? And I'm like, why are bartenders not like, why do you not like see that, like approach you at a bar? Why do you like proceed? Because like, dude, people just need to like, I don't know. I feel like that is really probably a super hot toddy take, that I feel like it's a bartender's responsibility. It's not really though. Obviously, the person consuming the alcohol needs to like know how to hold their liquor and control that. But I feel like they're like, I could potentially see space for like a law regarding when a bartender should like stop serving an individual person alcohol. I don't know how that would be enforced or decided. It would be an insane debate because alcohol consumption, at least in the United States, is so normalized. Like, and I mean like unhealthy alcohol consumption. Like, it's bad. And people just like act like it's like not like a drug. And I mean, like, I drink like casually with friends and stuff, but like I've had my moments. My 21st was a whole, I will get into that, like a whole other segment on another episode. It was a lot, but I like know how to control myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not a lot of people do. I also feel like that should be like a college course, y'all. Like knowing how to handle your liquor and control your liquor, and knowing for your body type, like how many drinks you can have per hour and how much like water you should have, and like that you should eat with it, and like all these things to like safely consume alcohol to like prevent blacking out and like prevent like alcohol poisoning and like prevent things like that, like the really, really dark and dangerous side of liquor. But I don't know. I definitely like, I don't know, maybe if I was president, that would be something that I would like want to gather Congress regarding, you know, let's figure out how to allow bartenders, because it's also like if you work in a bar, then you have to deal with like the repercussions of that person's actions if they're acting a fool under the influence. Like, and it's like, to what extent as like a bar or like an owner of a bar or bartender can you be like, nah, I don't want to have to deal with that. You're not having it anymore. Like, you're cut off. And I know that like that's a thing, like bartenders cut people off, but I feel like they always cut people off when it's too late. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you, I don't know, how do you find that like line of like, oh, that person's looking a little, you know? And it's like, how is it your right to do that? It's not. But also like, I don't know, could it be? I don't know. That's something that I feel like I should like debate with someone. And I've also never bartended, so I can't like speak from experience. But I would love to talk with someone that has bartended before regarding that subject. And I'm like, it's kind of lame, because I feel like 9 times out of 10, they're like, hey, a tip is a tip. Like, it's a sale, you know, whatever. I feel like that's like a lot of people's opinions about it. But it's also like, bruh, safety. health, you know, like people don't prioritize that. So I don't know. That's just like a random tangent and thought that I had. And I did not remember my out of pocket quote this week. So I'm just going to end the episode here, y'all. Hopefully it will come to me and I will write it down this time and I will have it next episode for y'all. I hope that y'all have a wonderful week and stay safe out there, y'all, and have a nice weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye.